In the heart of the city, an old apartment building stood like a forgotten relic, its facade cracked and peeling, ivy clawing its way up the sides like skeletal fingers. The building seemed alive, whispering secrets from the past through its creaking walls and rattling windows. Despite its ominous appearance, it was home to many who could afford nothing better. Rumors about the building's basement circulated among the tenants. Mrs. Thompson, who lived on the first floor, was the longest resident. She warned newcomers with a tremor in her voice, "Stay away from the basement after dark." Strange occurrences kept the rumors alive. Pets vanished without a trace, and an unnatural chill would seep through the hallways at night. Eerie sounds, muffled cries, and sinister growls echoed through the walls, sending shivers down the spines of those who heard them. One sweltering summer night, Jake, a new tenant on the third floor, lay in bed, unable to sleep. The usual city noise that lulled him to sleep was eerily absent, replaced by a suffocating silence. He tossed and turned, trying to shake the feeling of being watched. A sudden icy draft swept through his room. He checked the windows, but they were securely shut. Then, a low, guttural growl reverberated through the walls, freezing him in place. What the hell was that? He whispered, his heart pounding. His phone buzzed. It was a message from Lucy, his neighbor directly below. "Did you hear that noise? It's freaking me out." Jake's fingers trembled as he replied, "Yeah. Do you think it's coming from the basement?" Lucy's response was instant. "I've heard stories about that place. They say it's haunted." Jake, a mix of fear and curiosity gnawing at him, decided to investigate. He grabbed a flashlight and met Lucy in the hallway. She was clutching a baseball bat, her eyes wide with fear. They approached the basement door, its paint flaking off like dead skin, the hinges rusted and groaning. A palpable sense of dread filled the air as they slowly opened it, revealing a staircase descending into darkness. Each step they took echoed ominously. The basement was colder than the rest of the building. The flashlight beam cut through the gloom, revealing cobwebs, broken furniture, and a labyrinth of forgotten relics. Then they saw a door at the far end, slightly ajar, with an eerie red glow seeping through the crack. The growling grew louder, more menacing. Jake's heart raced as they approached. With a trembling hand, he pushed the door open. Inside, the walls were covered in ancient, cryptic symbols pulsing with a sinister light. In the center of the room was a swirling vortex of darkness, a portal to something unspeakable. From it, a demonic entity began to materialize, its eyes burning with malevolent fire. The demon spoke, its voice a haunting whisper that seemed to pierce their very souls. "You should not have come here." Lucy screamed as the demon lunged forward, its form shifting and twisting in the shadows. Jake grabbed her arm, pulling her back as they fled the room, slamming the door behind them. The growls and whispers pursued them up the stairs. They collapsed in the hallway, gasping for breath. The cold draft was gone, the sound ceased, but the fear lingered, clawing at their minds. The next day, the building was abuzz with rumors. Jake and Lucy warned the other tenants, but many were skeptical. That night, the demon's vengeance began. Residents were tormented by vivid, terrifying nightmares. Shadows danced malevolently on the walls, whispering their darkest fears. Objects moved on their own, and the chilling cold returned, creeping through the building like a sinister fog. Jake and Lucy knew they had to act. They delved into the building's history and discovered it was built on the ruins of an old church, the site of dark rituals centuries ago. The demon was bound to the basement, feeding off the fear and suffering of the residents. Desperate, they sought help from Father O'Reilly, a priest known for his expertise in exorcisms. Armed with holy water, crucifixes, and a Latin prayer book, they descended into the basement once more. The demonic entity roared as they entered the room, the vortex swirling violently. Father O'Reilly began to chant, his voice strong and resolute. The symbols on the walls glowed, reacting to the holy incantations. The demon fought back, hurling objects and conjuring horrific illusions. Jake and Lucy joined in the prayers, their voices merging with the priests. With a final, deafening roar, the demon was pulled back into the vortex, which imploded with a blinding flash of light. The room fell silent, the oppressive airlifting. The symbols faded into the walls, leaving only dust and debris. Exhausted but triumphant, they returned to the upper floors. The residents felt the change immediately. The air was warmer, lighter. The nightmares ceased, and the whispers vanished. Though the encounter left scars on their minds, Jake and Lucy had saved their home. They never spoke of the basement again, but they remained vigilant. And deep in the shadows, the building sighed, free at last from its demonic prisoner.